Hello Leute, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Divi Learns. My name is Divi. Let's get right into it. As you can tell by the title of this video, I wanted to do my honest review of Babbel. For those of you that don't know, Babbel is an online language learning tool. They have both an online version as well as a mobile app that you can use. I believe they both have the free version, and then you can always upgrade to the subscription option. Now, I came across Babbel when I first wanted to learn German. I want to say in early 2016, and I've tried different tools, and for whatever reason, I can't exactly remember, I ended up sticking with Babbel and actually paid for an initial subscription. I think it was only for 6 months, so that's how I got started with Babbel. So I don't remember how much I actually paid, but I paid for a 6-month subscription because I think they had a promo running, and they usually do have a promo running at all times. And so that's how I got started with it. And so going right into it, what do I think about it? Well, I've been using it on and off for almost 2.5 years now, and I've continuously paid to upgrade my subscription, so obviously I must have liked something about it. So let me go right into it. There's really 3 things that I really liked. The first one is that there's a lot of different lessons and it's very structured. So predominantly I've been getting my language learning out of Babbel. That's where I spent most of my time. I would do any given week at least 1 lesson a week, especially in the beginning when I was using it. And so they have tons of lessons that you can do, and they're structured really well. So that's what I really liked about it, that I could kind of go into it not knowing anything and just going in the order that they provided with. So they've got, I believe there were 6 beginner courses that you have to do, and each course is quite long, but it takes, and if you do a little bit every day, you can crack it pretty quickly. So you go through that, and then I believe there was 2 in-depth or intermediate courses, and I believe if you can complete all of it, by the end of it you should hit, I think it's a B1 level, I'm not 100% sure, but that's only based on completion. It doesn't actually mean that if you complete it you'll be B1. Sometimes you might even be more advanced, but probably a lot less, because there's only so much you can do from a language learning tool without practicing it. Your German or whatever language you're doing is not going to get better, but that's one thing that I really liked. The other thing that I liked is that there is a periodic vocabulary review. So I know there's a lot of different tools for language learning. A lot of them incorporate some form of review regularly, and so I think Babbel does the same thing based on how long ago you learned a certain word or when that word was introduced to you. If it becomes too far from when you actually first learned it, it typically kind of moves it to the front so you don't lose touch with that word or phrase or whatever it is. Usually it's just a phrase or a word, so it's in the vocab review, so I love doing all of those. And the third thing I like is it often, when it first introduces a new word or a theme, it'll use pictures as well as audio. So there's a lot of audio and picture combinations which help you associate what a word might see. So if I see just the word auto, it's an easy one, I can know it's a car, but when you put it with a picture, you automatically know what it is. For other words, it's very helpful, where what the item is based on the name may not be so obvious, but you look at the picture and you can associate the two, so that's really helpful. And a lot of lessons at the end of it, there are listening comprehension exercises where they're just saying a word, or there might be a conversation going back and forth, and you have to try to understand what's happening in the conversation and answer questions based on that. So often I found this very challenging, especially because the pace that they were going at was a little bit quicker. It is realistic as to how quickly someone would speak in a real conversation. So that's great, but it was a bit challenging. But overall, those were 3 things that I really liked. So that was the structure, and then the vast amount of lessons that it has. The vocabulary review, that's periodic, so I tend to do those often, so I love that. And then I like the combination of the oral exercises as well as the pictures. Now the downside, or the one thing that it doesn't have that I wish it did, was videos. So I believe, I can't recall seeing any videos in Babbel. That may just be by design, I don't know what it is, but I find when I do review videos, especially when I'm trying to learn something, it is helpful, and I know other tools do videos, but that was the one thing that I haven't come across with Babbel. Now, I've predominantly used and would recommend just the online version of Babbel. I've re-downloaded the app recently because I do have a lot of commuting time when I go to work and back, so I will review sometimes on the app if I'm on a train, and I just download the lessons in advance and we'll do them, and they're okay. But I find when you're on the computer or on a laptop, that's when you're going to get the best experience of Babbel, and that's probably the same with a lot of the language learning apps out there, where the app version is only so good, but if you get the full desktop or online version, it usually is a lot better. So that's how I use it, and so I think you kind of got the gist of it based on what I said. I really do like it. There is some downside in that there's no videos, but overall it's the structure that I really like, and vocabulary and the oral exercises that make it easy for me to learn something really quickly and in a structured manner. And then I start to use other tools to enhance and supplement what I just learned in Babbel, because I found if I just stick to Babbel, I don't think I'm going to get the best learning experience. So I start and get my foundation there. That's where I quickly learn how to say something, and then I have to go and practice doing it. So maybe it's just having a conversation with someone or whatever it is, but I do need to supplement it in addition. So will Babbel itself get me to where I want to be fluent-wise? Probably not, but it's a really, really great start. I really enjoy it, and I will continue to use it. I still use it today, even though I started using it a long time ago, and I finished a lot of the basic lessons. Now I'm just doing a lot of review, especially with grammar, which I often get confused with. If you're learning grammar, if you're learning German, you do know what I'm talking about with the German grammar. It is quite confusing, but I'm gonna end it there. This is not a paid or sponsored video. I just decided to make this one because I couldn't find enough actual reviews of Babbel online, especially on YouTube. There's definitely reviews on there, but I couldn't find enough, especially for German. So I wanted to make this one. And comment below if you've used Babbel before, or another tool, or yeah, if you have any other questions about my experience with it. I still like it. I still use it. Still pay for it. So yeah, that's pretty much it with Babbel. I'm gonna end it here. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.